The other night, Steph Curry passed Wilt Chamberlain. I'm sorry, Wilt Chamberlain in score as an all-time leading scorer for Golden State. I think going into the game against the Denver Nuggets, he needed 19 points to pass Wilt, and he ended up getting 53. Uh, First and foremost, the reason why this is so huge is because when we think about Wilt and we talk about Wilt, it's like Wilt is like a it's like a fairy tale. It's like a Sasquatch. Wilt is like the Loch Ness monster. It's like when you hear some of the stats that he put up, it is. I mean, one. I think. I mean, we all know about the 100-point game, but I think there was a couple seasons when he averaged 50 or more points, averaged 23. I think he averaged 23 rebounds a game for his entire career, which is which is crazy. Now, Steph Curry passing Wilt Chamberlain and scoring for Golden State. A lot of people want to. I heard a lot of people say, it's a different era, 3-point era. Yes, and a lot of people wanted to throw dirt and kind of diminish what Steph Curry did. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, what we're looking at right now and what we're looking at in Steph Curry is one of the most important players the league has ever seen. One of the most, and if not the most influential player. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan. I'm not saying he's better than LeBron. I'm not saying he's better than the all-time greats. But what I am saying is we're living in a time where Steph Curry, you can see any type of basketball. You can see college basketball, you can see high school, you can see AAU, you can see Pee Wee, you can see any type of, hell, even overseas, and see Steph Curry's imprint on that. You're seeing kids now 2 steps past half court pulling. I remember in college, right? It was homecoming, I believe, and we were destroying this team, and I was in the game, and I think I just hit two threes. I hit two threes, and I was going like I was fit. You hit two threes in a row, a heat check is coming, and I took 3 steps past half court and then let it fly. And when I tell you I didn't miss bad, but I missed. I looked over, I saw my replacement coming. I was like, kids are starting to do that more. People are starting to do that. You look at the national championship, right? And you look at how Baylor, their almost entire team were 3-point shooters. Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler, Mikhail Teague. Like, you saw their entire, even their big, the homie with the mullet. They have shooters and they shoot. Look at all the teams outside of Gonzaga, because Gonzaga really wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter, but Michigan was a great 3-point shooter. Three-point shooting team. Houston was a great 3-point shooting team. Oregon State was a great 3-point shooting team. Hell, Oral Roberts was a great 3-point shooting team. All the teams that are good are great 3-point shooting teams, or at least made a deep run in the playoffs or in March Madness, are great shooting teams. And you can there's not really, except for if you just really can't shoot, but there's not really a bad shot anymore because of Steph Curry. I'm not saying he's gonna go down in history as the greatest player ever. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is there is a really strong possibility that he could go down as one of, if not the most influential player ever. When we talk about influence, we talk about Allen Iverson, my all-time favorite player. He's the reason why I got into loving basketball. He's the reason why I got into loving sports, honestly. Allen Iverson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Those are influential players. But when we look at Iverson, not all the, of course, influential due to his style and the way that, his approach to the game, how he wasn't the biggest player, yet he was making, he was saucing people. Michael Jordan hit, arguably the greatest of all time, his global reach, his global impact on the game. LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time. His reach and how he's been great on and off the court. He's really one of the first athletes outside of maybe Mike Allen Iverson to really make a statement off the court. Steph Curry has changed the way that we look at basketball, changed the way that basketball is played. Hell, changed the way that pickup basketball is played. Now, people can say, I mean, we've been shooting threes. No, of course we've been shooting threes, but there is a direct correlation to the time Steph Curry got into the league. Before then, teams weren't pulling 10 teams were probably shooting maybe 10 to 15 threes a game. Teams. Last night, Steph Curry made 10. James Harden takes 15. No, we know the Rockets' philosophy when it comes to threes, especially with James Harden there. That is a direct correlation to Steph Curry. Again, congratulations to Steph Curry for passing Wilt Chamberlain as an all-time leading scorer in Golden State. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players, I would say. Yeah, it's easy to be said. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players we've ever seen. And we remember the I don't know if you remember, but we remember how what it took to get there. You know, not getting recruited by all the big schools, went to Davidson, getting drafted behind 2 point guards in Ricky Rubio and what's homie's name? Johnny Flynn. We remember all the ankle injuries that he dealt with, ankle surgeries, and then of course to get to where he is now. It's not even a question. Of course, there's people that are, Kyrie fans. There's people that are Damian Lillard fans. There's people that, of course, Chris Paul fans. But there's universal who is the best. There's not, unless you just living on the rock. It is universal of who is the best point guard in the league. And honestly, to me, he's crept into that most disrespected player. Again, I understand there's a lot of people in that list, but most disrespected player. Steph Curry is second in the league, I believe, in scoring. When he's not on the floor for Golden State has one of the worst offenses in league history. When he is on the floor, I think they're 13th in the league this year in scoring. You go from 13th in the league in scoring with you on the floor to bottom 5 in league history with you off. And that player, I'm not saying that he is going to win or should win the MVP, but that player is barely talked about in MVP discussions. When we talk about, I heard Skip Bayless say yesterday, when we talk about Steph Curry's greatness, Skip Bayless had the nerve to say Steph Curry is a regular season player. A 3-time champion is a regular season player. And of course, he attributes Curry not winning a championship. not winning a Finals MVP. The collapse, the 3-1 collapse, even though there was a lot more that went into it than just Curry. Curry didn't play well. I'm not going to hold you, but there was a lot more into it. Again, we're looking at, there will never be another Steph Curry. A lot of people want to say, but what about what about Trae Young? What about players like De'Aaron Fox? What about players like Luka? You know what I mean? There will never be another Steph. As great as Trae Young is and will probably end up being, there will never be another Steph Curry. The way he has changed the game, the sport of basketball, there will never be another Steph. So, again, congratulations to Steph Curry for passing Wilt Chamberlain in Golden State's all-time leading scorer list, I guess. And there's also something to be said that he is one of a few players that's only played for one franchise. Of course, you have Dirk, you have Reggie Miller, of course, you have Dame at this point, and of course we don't know how it's going to end, but Curry has said he wants to be a lifer in Golden State. Golden State said they want Curry for life. It's something to be said about that, man. So shouts out to Curry. Shouts out to Stephen Curry.